What's up, guys? My name is Joe. We are back with another episode of British Guy Reacts, and today we are reacting to how hard is it to hit a Major League Fastball according to science. So we previously did a pitching video and I was saying it looks like it is impossible to hit a baseball. We're going to let science explain whether it is or not. If you are new around here, do subscribe to the channel. Go and subscribe to my gaming channel where we're currently playing MLB The Show. And let's jump straight into this reaction. Let's go. He's got his grip. The helmet is secure. Testing his cleats. Team science. Up to bat.
Ted Williams said the hardest thing to do in a sport is hit a baseball.
Ooh.
I think he was right.
Okay, here we go. A little science intro. It's okay to be smart. Okay.
These guys make it look easy, but hitting a Major League Fastball pushes the brain and body to their very limits. I mean, how do these guys do it? Are they superhuman genetic freaks? Do they see the world in Matrix-like bullet time?
Now back, number 42.
Joe the Hustle Hansen. A good name, bad average.
One of the first things they teach you in Little League is to keep your eye on the ball, but that's easier said than done. I can barely see that thing. The pitcher starts 60 feet 6 inches from home plate, but actually releases the ball several feet closer. At that distance, a 90
I didn't realize he stood that far away, you know.
Only in the air for maybe 400 milliseconds.
Ooh.
That's not a lot of time. And we can perform simple reaction tasks in less than 400 milliseconds, but hitting a baseball is a little more complicated. Hitters aren't just reacting to the pitch. They have to make a big stick arrive at the same time and location as a tiny moving sphere. They only have a 9 millisecond window to make contact, less than half an inch margin of error. To make things worse, the hitter's at a huge disadvantage. They're living in the past. Well, we all are. Because of the time it takes our sensory information to be synchronized and processed, our consciousness lags 80 to 100 milliseconds behind actual events. By the time the brain registers there's a pitch on the way, it's already a quarter of the way to the plate. Considering the average Major League swing takes about 160 milliseconds, that only leaves 140 milliseconds
to make
for
a
the
decision.
brain to think, swing, send a signal to the motor cortex, down to the arm. It takes longer than that to blink.
You got a
Baseball
foul.
great Yogi Berra allegedly once said, "You can't think and hit at the same time." He was right. There's just not enough time to sense, decide, and act on a pitch. Baseball players almost have to think without thinking. The first phase begins before the pitcher even starts to move. How many outs are there? Where are the runners? What is this pitcher like to throw when there's 2 strikes? The context of the game can help narrow down the possibilities and give the hitter a sort of ballpark estimate. The pitcher winds up, the batter begins to move, and then things go subconscious. Batters go into every pitch as if they're going to swing. Their bodies have to get a head start. Their eyes are locked on the exact distance and location of the pitcher's release point. There's no time to focus or move their eyes into position. To hit the strike zone with any pitch, a pitcher has to release the ball within a cone just 2 degrees wide and within half a millisecond of their target. Batters are able to analyze tiny differences in the angle of release of the ball to determine if it has any chance of crossing the plate.
We are no-go for launch.
From this point on, the batter just has to figure out when the ball will cross the plate and at what height. Easy, right? With data like velocity, rotation, parabolic motion, a computer could easily calculate the time of intercept. Unfortunately, we're not robots,
computers.
and we've got to use sensory clues instead. When something moves closer to us, its angular size increases. The faster that shadow grows on our retina, the faster it's moving towards us. Because we have 2 eyes, each gets a slightly different view of that ball's growing shadow.
Somewhere in the
Our brains
middle.
are able to put together those tiny differences and translate it into the ball's flight path. The batter's eyes and head remain locked on that pitch until it's about 6 feet away from the plate, constantly adjusting their predictions along the way. If everything goes just right, what's crazy is nearly all of this bypasses a batter's conscious brain. How do they see all of this when my brain only sees a blur?
A lot of
The center
practice.
of our retina contains the highest density of photoreceptors of anywhere in the eye. This is why we see best when we look right at something. But thanks to genetics, some people have more cells in the middle of their retina than others. A higher density of cones in a given area means more resolution. In eye exams, the average major league player tests at 2013 vision, and 80% are below 2015. Some even approach 28, the theoretical limit of human vision. In the 1990s, Los Angeles Dodgers scouts were able to predict which minor league players would succeed in the majors based solely on how they performed on eye exams. But baseball's red laces...
I just had a thought of, like, we've done videos on the NFL combine and like an NBA combine for the draft prospects, right? Imagine they do one for baseball and they just make them do an eye test. It's not like do a bench press or how fast can you run. Do an eye test. Let's see those eyes.
Can give different
How well
pitches
can
a
you
telltale
see?
signature in flight. A two-seam fastball can look like two red stripes based on its backwards rotation. A slider's lateral movement can paint a red dot on one side. Hitters, thanks to their experience and their expert vision, are able to pick up on these patterns in flight.
Ooh.
What distinguishes an expert hitter from, well, someone like me is their ability to process information earlier, faster, and more efficiently. They've got some physical attributes that make them well suited to cranking the long ball to the cheap seats, but they've also trained their brains to be specialized fast motion processing devices. It's just as much about software as hardware, maybe even more. I clearly need an upgrade. Stay curious.
Well, that was a very short video, but I did enjoy it. It's good to see this. Oh, we still got more.
This episode was sponsored by Dropbox. Whether you're
Oh no, there we go. That was the end of the episode. I hope you guys did enjoy that. The science behind hitting a major league fastball. Basically, it's tough, right? It's very hard. Like you said, it's probably one of the hardest things to do in sport to hit that ball. There's so many things going on. And let's be real, the batters aren't really thinking about all that stuff. They've just been trained to do that specific thing, right? They're just watching the pitcher's hand the second that ball's released. Maybe they can analyze the spin or how quick it's coming, but they ain't doing no equations in the head. We all know that. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you for the next one. Take it easy. Peace.